Student course learning objectives. What do I hope that you will get from this course? There's four main objectives, and for the first one I've reproduced the course intro, which also doubles as the objective. So it is difficult to find a person unaware of the samurai. However, most people both in Japan and abroad, etc., etc., etc. And so we will learn about the samurai as they were, as people, and also learn about the image of the samurai that came about after their demise and what that means for the world. And this addresses the following learning outcomes. College 1, learning as inquiry, basically speaks to information literacy. How well can you interpret sources? How well do you adjust to your thinking based on the things you've learned? Just basically, how well are you able to process information critically from the sources that are available to you? And History 1, demonstrate knowledge of the history of at least 3 regions of the world from the perspective of a global citizen. Certainly we'll be focusing on Asia, but we will also learn about Japan's relations with European countries and with countries in the Western Hemisphere, most of all the United States. The second learning objective, we will use academic readings, primary sources, and other media to examine the samurai from their origins during the Heian period, very early, 8th to 12th centuries, to their official dissolution in the late 19th century. So in terms of content, that's what we'll be focusing on. We will also focus on their development as a special status group and explore how they managed to maintain their corporate identity for so long. How did they stay as a class? Well, status group actually, not a class. We will trace the evolution of the samurai from rural enforcers and actually as city guards of more well-to-do people, their transition to territorial magnates and bureaucrats. This evolution affected and was affected by the development of samurai warfare, ethics, aesthetics, religious practices, ideas relating to gender roles, and other aspects of samurai life, which we will explore. We will see how these ideas and practices mediated the relations of the samurai with household, society, and government. Finally, we will examine why samurai status was abolished at the start of the Meiji period, and how former samurai transformed into modern citizens. And this addresses the following learning outcome. History number 2. You will learn to interpret and analyze historical material with an emphasis on primary sources and reflecting epistemology and changes in historical debates. Once again, speaks to information literacy. How well can you interpret historical sources, especially primary sources, and fit them into a emerging narrative, emerging pattern. History 3. Apply analytical tools such as class, race, gender, and sexuality to historical knowledge. We will focus on class and gender. Of course, we will explore all of these markers of identity, and actually social status isn't on there, but it is also what we will be looking at. LAC 2A, students will demonstrate an understanding of the diversity of past and present human cultures. I mean, this is just made for this course. Learning outcome 3. You will be expected to use historical sources and scholarly works in order to construct cogent, relevant arguments, which you will communicate through a number of written assignments and also group assignments. Good, persuasive writing is a skill that no historian and no college graduate should be without. We will specifically focus on short essays in order to practice the art of concise writing. I really think that you should be able to write well, and you'll have a lot of practice in this class. And part of writing well is being able to write succinctly. I think that that will be helpful to you. Once again, this is a learning process. You don't have to have this, completely down on the first day, but hopefully we can make progress towards, among other things, making you better writers. This addresses the following learning outcomes. College 2, critical thinking as problem solving. You have to be able to do something with the information in order to say something meaningful about it in a written assignment, or certainly a group assignment. History 4, conduct original historical research and present their findings orally, in writing, or both. You won't have outside writing, or I'm sorry, research assignments. You won't have to go and find sources elsewhere. But part of that is because you have so many primary sources that you will be assigned in this class, and I view that as research. LAC 4. Students reflect critically on ethical issues and to make reasoned, intelligent judgments about complex problems. Well, it looks like some grammar nonsense going on there. But basically what this means is why or how does the lesson of what happened in history with the samurai, how does that impact your life? How does that make you better able to make decisions? Very much part of what history is about. Not that it's that simple, as in, if you don't know history, you'll be bound to repeat it, but there's certainly some truth in that statement, oversimplified though it may be. Learning outcome 04. A portion of your grade will depend on teamwork. Although this is challenging, another main aim of this class is to develop your ability to learn from and engage with your fellow students as scholars of history. You are expected to participate in the weekly Friday teamwork sessions, online, of course, but still teamwork sessions. And in order to do that, you will need to come prepared, that is figuratively to come to class, do all the readings and assignments, and be willing to share your views and observations. I think it's especially important in this online course because you will also be using technology, which is becoming just ever more important in our work lives. You will likely have to work with people who you won't be near physically in the future. I think that's in store for everybody, and hopefully this class can help prepare you for that. And this addresses the following learning outcomes. College 3, communication as intellectual contribution. You talk with each other, and you are all historians in this course. While you are signed up for this course, you are certainly that. And what do you add to the study of history? All of you have something to contribute. Absolutely all of you. And I want to help you do that while thinking about this particular problem, the samurai. And LAC 1, students apply intellectual and practical skills to think critically and communicate effectively. Basically, just more in the same vein. Program learning outcomes. Basically, what overall do I hope you will learn from this? The history program, that is, certainly hopes that you will learn, as it says in PL1, Program Learning Outcome 1, to foster the ability of students to engage in critical thinking and develop information literacy skills, to help you effectively use historical sources as evidence towards constructing sound arguments. The Fort Lewis College History Department is very serious about cultivating critical thinking and information literacy skills. That's what all of our courses are structured around. This one is certainly no exception. And the second program outcome that we hope you get out of this is to familiarize students with the history of the samurai in order to appreciate their influence on Japanese, East Asian, and world history. Once again, the importance of the samurai goes well beyond just Japan.